My name is Jane,
Hi, I'm Max.
and this is Max.
Yep.
Okay, so previously we should introduce ourselves a little, and then we'll start.
Yeah,
What we're gonna talk
so what is
So what do you do?
well me? I'm I've been doing a lot of things wealth related, helping clients to manage wealth and their portfolio, um, ranging from $100,000 to 10-20 million US dollar, so or more. So I've been developing different projects, different technology. For example, there's one of the project I developed in 2015 to help my clients to grow their portfolio, okay, into uh, uh, 17 times the ROI in that year. Okay, in fact, in very short months, I've been developing another technology, okay, another auto trading system, high frequency trading in around 2017. Okay, grow transacted about 80 billion US dollar transactions.
Okay.
In 2020, I developed another technology to strategies to generate sales online, okay, portfolio online. I mean, business portfolio. So every $10,000 advertising dollar, okay, advertisement turn into 17 times, okay, in one
How long?
in 1 month.
1 month. Okay.
1 month.
That's good.
In fact, average, because sometimes it's 20 times, sometimes it's 17 times, sometimes it's 5 times or 10 times. Average I think is 10 plus. Okay, so and then so basically from time to time there's different project. So I've been developing different auto trading programs as well for different purpose. There are thousands of them.
Never mind. Okay. Yeah. Continue.
Yeah, well, silent mode.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Continue.
Yep. So what about you?
Oh. Interestingly, I mean, I joined. I did explore different ecosystem back then. The first thing that in a way that I was in the industry is aerospace. So I worked in a French MNC, and then basically, which is like a, but then because in Asia, right, we don't really have like a very creative, very innovative kind of ecosystem when it comes to aerospace industry. So it's more on the manufacturing side. But after that, because I'm more interested in R&D and innovation, right? So I changed to another industry, which is more related. I mean, like, which is, it kind of makes sense at that point in time, because that's when after Facebook, you know, sort of like became a giant. So IT became, I mean, not really IT like, but then it's like, you know, IT industry, technology industry, it became like a big thing back then. It's like almost all industry were involved in technology. So in some way, right? No matter software, no matter hardware. So that's where I was in. And then interestingly, so I actually joined a fintech startup, which is I mean, it's run by a group of Americans in Indonesia. So it's kind of interesting because their kind of working environment is very different from other places they work with. Then after that, somehow I joined a consulting firm, which is founded by a group of British. And then so what we do back then is that we help conglomerates to do post-merger and acquisition work. Like, you know, after they buy, you know, all these companies in different parts of the world, in 7 countries, and then we help them to harmonize the system in the way that like literally the processes for the company and everything, and as well as the digital system as well, the digital software that can harmonize their work, their process, their internal billing, and their accounting as well. I mean that's kind of what we did back then. And then after that, I was involved in strategic workforce planning, kind of project. Yeah. Then shortly after, so that's during the COVID time. That's where we met each other. He's in finance industry for about 20 years, and I myself, I was in the fintech industry, especially when I was in Indonesia back then. I was in the P2P lending industry. So, and then that's when I sort of explored the fintech ecosystem, and spoke to the fintech regulator in Indonesia as well. I mean, it's kind of interesting, right? So that's how we met each other, and then we sort of we worked together afterwards. Yeah. So I guess this is sort of like our introduction, right? Yeah, about 6 minutes of introduction.
Oh, yes, that's good.
Okay.
So what's our topic today?
Okay, so our topic today is kind of interesting because we were looking for what are the business model that is very different, because I think especially when it comes to Westerners, right, as well as those who live in the East, generally we have, of course, we have common values, but generally we have very different cultures, right? So today we will talk more about this business model that has been proven to be successful by this Japanese billionaire, right? And his name is Kazuo Inamori. So Kazuo Inamori, he has a very interesting idea of how he managed his business, which is called the amoeba style. Because the first time I look at amoeba, I was like, oh, is that like the what is it called, the microorganism amoeba? That's what I thought. But then it's sort of interesting, right? So it's like the name itself is very interesting, but of course I need to read a bit more to find out why it is. But before I talk about how to explain a little bit more about the amoeba style business model, let's look at their numbers. Okay, so the first successful case, which is called the, I don't know how to pronounce in Japanese, but you see that it's a Kyocera Corporation. It's in electronics and ceramics industry. It's founded in 1959, and because of amoeba style management, so the result is that they grew from 28 employees to 70,000 employees, and then after that their annual revenue is about 15 billion US dollar, and consistently profitable every year since founding, even during the economic downturns. And it's also recognized globally for their decentralized and agile management. So this one we will explain afterwards, like why this amoeba management will, in a way that allow or recognize globally for the decentralized and agile management. Yeah, so this is basically the amoeba management helped Kyocera, this company, to stay highly responsive to market shifts and also foster innovation at every level. So that's how they survive, like just now you mentioned, like even during the economic downturns. Okay, then the second one, the success story is KDDI Corporation. And KDDI Corporation is in telecommunications industry. It's formed in 2000 via merger. Okay, and of course Inamori was the honorary chairman. Okay, so when did the amoeba management apply? It was after the merger, which is post-merger integration phase. Because every time we talk about M&A and all, I just give a little bit of context. Every time I talk about M&A, merger and acquisition, actually it's not every M&A will be successful afterwards, because normally there will be a period of time, maybe 3 years, 5 years, depends on the case, depends on how big the company is, to see whether they fit for each other. Because sometimes they fail and then they just pull out from the M&A, right? So in this case, the amoeba management style was applied in 2000 because of the merger. So because of that, then they grew into Japan's second largest telecom provider. And in 2023, their revenue is about 39 billion US dollar. So, because just now, like I mentioned, when it comes to M&A, right, it's not very, how to say, it's like, normally there will be a lot of hiccups because of how cultural. But because they adopted the amoeba management style, so they achieve a very smooth cultural integration of multiple merged entities as well. So, and also this because of the amoeba management style, so they had a very rapid market expansion and increased operational efficiency as well. So in the Mori's management philosophy, which is amoeba style, it will help to align the vision and also reduce the friction among merged organizations, which kind of makes, which is interesting, like just now we were talking about how it helped with innovation, and this one it says that the amoeba style actually will help to reduce the friction among the merged organization as well because of the decentralization. And later we will explain like how amoeba style is decentralized, like a kind of management. And then the third one, we have Japan Airlines. I think back then, I think people heard about it. Because airlines is a very the profit margin is very, very low. The day I just attended a talk, I heard that for airlines, right, you know how much is their profit margin? They are very happy when they get 3 to 5% profit.
Most of them are not profitable.
Yeah.
Basically are losses.
They are very happy when they get 3% to 5% profit, then they celebrate. Then I was like, yeah, airline industry is not a very easy industry because the compliance is so much. No, the funny thing is that I heard that like for example in Malaysia, if you want to start your own airline business, I think at least you would take about at least 6 months to 1 year to kick off. Like you pay a lot of compliance stuff, but you cannot fly yet. And you still need to buy or rent the plane and also. Yeah, so the barrier is is a lot more higher, and also it really leads like those who have money to throw to start their own airline, like just simply say. Okay, so when it comes to this, right, Japan Airlines, of course we know that the industry is in the aviation industry, and the crisis they had is that they bankrupted in 2010, and then at the point of time, Inamori, the Japanese billionaire, he was appointed as chairman in 2010 when they bankrupt. He was at the age of 78 at the point in time. And the thing is, turnaround, like the success story of this, right, is that after adopted Inamori's amoeba management style, they managed to cut costs by about 100 billion yen, which is about 1 billion US dollar. They managed to cut the cost because they realized that there are too many a lot of costs that they just didn't really manage. They just didn't really have like a very efficient cost management. Maybe that's what one of the key problems. And then they returned to profitability within a year, in 1 year, and also they achieved about 1.6 billion US dollar in operating profit within 2 years. Yeah, so within 2 years they already managed to achieve 1.6 billion operating profit, and before that they were 2 years ago they were bankrupt. Yeah. It's kind of impressive, right?
It is one of the amazing things. The first time I heard about this.
Yeah, in the
for many years ago. Okay, so because imagine the morale of the staff, everything, when they've been suffering losses for years and even bankrupted. So how to you'll be lucky for most of the management to turn it into profit or even break even in a few years, but this is in the immediate 1 year later it become profitable.
So, and then good thing is that they also relisted on Tokyo Stock Exchange in 2012, which is 2 years after, when they achieved what I mentioned earlier, 1.6 billion operating profit. So at the point in time, they just relisted on Tokyo Stock Exchange, and then of course they raise a lot more money as well through the exchange. So in the third case, Japan Airlines, by adopting the amoeba management style by Inamori, yeah, they managed to, from is a miracle, right? From bankruptcy to record profit in less than 2 years, and oh, interesting, and all without laying off a single regular employee.
Yes.
That's great. Yeah. Okay, so these are the okay, so I just make a summary because just now I mentioned about 3 cases, right? So there are 3 companies, Kyocera, which is electronic and ceramic company, KDDI, which is the telecommunication company, and then and also the Japan Airlines, right? So there are 3 companies. So the outcome for each of them are different, but then good in a way that, I mean, like after they adopted the amoeba management style. So the first one for Kyocera is just like the company outcome for them is about they have continuous growth and also 0 annual losses since founding. Interesting. And then for KDDI, let's just say that Kyocera, they had a very good start because since the beginning they started to adopt the amoeba management style. Then when it's come to KDDI, because they only used the amoeba after the merger, so they found out that by adopting the adopting the amoeba management style, they managed to have like a seamless integration, rapid expansion, and so massive market share, after that. And for for the Japan Airlines, is that they had, they managed to be, they were bankrupt, right? And after that, profit within a year, and then for the IPO, they also raised about 663 billion yen. Let me check how much is it in US dollar. In USD. Yen to USD. Okay. 663. So about 4.5 billion, 4.5 billion US dollar. After that, then at that point in time, they have no layoff, and also there's like a cultural revitalization as well, like what we mentioned earlier. Because without laying off, the company, went from bankrupt to profit within 2 years. It's like, I think all the employees inside, they'll feel motivated.
For those in business, you know that dealing with people is one of the very, very tough job, especially people who don't know about you, and you just go in and try to interfere with everything. For them, you are just an outsider, trying to interfere or trying to manage them. So it's very different, very, very tough for those of you who are in business. That's why for me, I've been in finance for 20 years. My company actually involve lesser and lesser people. In fact, almost, especially for the past 10 years, almost everything done by technology. I try to automate as much as possible. Yeah. That's another way for you. If let's say you are thinking about this is not your strength to deal with people, to manage people, or this is one of the way to do it with technology. Try to automate everything. Your portfolio, try to automate and make it, we call it passive income in finance, in personal finance.
Yeah, that's one way. Actually, what I did back then in a consulting firm, that's what we do. We call, managing consultant. So basically, we help with forming, like proper organizational structure, and especially when it comes to, like previously we worked for the post M&A work, merger and acquisition. That's where a lot of fear, right? Because people are scared that, oh no, we got a new boss, are we gonna get fired? Of course, like in this case, this is a very good case. Like Japan Airlines, they didn't even lay off a single employee, which is, that's impressive. But most of the merger and acquisition, normally for cultural shift, normally to harmonize like different processes, and also depends on the new CEO as well, like the direction. There might be some layoff, there might be some firing, and And of course, at that point in time, yeah, so that's what we did previously, because the CEO, I mean, in a way that we help the CEO to do that as a third party, which is sometimes is easier because of the sentiments, right? Like what Max mentioned earlier, sometimes people feel that it's very hard to manage, very hard to deal with human, deal with
and
people.
very hard to manage old people, especially.
Yeah.
Old means those old staff. They think that they are
They
considered
contribute a lot to the company.
a lot to
right?
the company. Have
Actually,
been
that's why we
very
face-
old in the company.
Actually,
They're
that's
not.
what we faced back then.
Uh,
You know, I was like 20 plus years old back then when I did this. I was 20 plus years old. Then I remember we had two cases. Like one is that we met this guy. He's about he already worked in this company for about 20 plus years, right? And then he realized that his company just got acquired by this big conglomerate. Then after that, he also think that he's very experienced in whatever he's doing, right? So he refused to listen to us. Then it was very hard. But of course, like, we wouldn't say that he doesn't want to listen to us, then we fire them. That's not what we do, because we know that when people are in fear, then they will use their ego to shield their fear. That is normal, right? But then at that point, it's very hard for me because I was just 20 plus years old and trying to convince all these people who already work in the company for 20 plus years to say that because that's when someone use their ego to shield their fear, right? It's very hard to communicate. So that's the problem that we had back then. But of course, we managed to break through and then make sure everything works in the end. So it's fine. Just that it will take some time. Because yeah. Okay. So that's why just now when I see that the amoeba management style, when it comes to no matter the merger or from bankrupt to profit, for the last two cases, it's really quite amazing. Yeah, because it's really like a miracle in the business world. Okay, great. Okay, so just now we talk about the proven success of amoeba management style. So now I'm just talk a little bit more like what exactly is amoeba management method. Okay, so just now we mentioned the name Kazuo Inamori. In Chinese it's called 稻盛和夫.
yeah, basically I
You heard
read
it in
about
Chinese,
this
right?
in Chinese.
Yeah.
Everything in Chinese.
Because normally
So-
Japanese book or Japanese kind
Yeah.
of related knowledge will be translated to
yeah,
Chinese first.
First,
By
yeah.
Taiwanese, yeah.
Or some book don't even translate it into English.
Yeah.
Just purely Chinese. There's one trader that book that I read. He only written one book, and then after that disappeared. He managed to turn $20,000 into $200 million in probably 10 to 20 years. So basically, he only wrote about one book, and that book is in Chinese, not even in English.
As in, it's in Japanese and then they translated to
Yeah,
Chinese.
of course.
Right?
Yeah, he only knows Japanese.
Because I think because Japan and Taiwan, they have very close relationship.
Yeah.
And then a lot of Taiwanese, they actually know Japanese as well. So normally, like most of the knowledge of Japan, the books and all, will be translated to Chinese first because of that.
Yeah,
The Taiwanese will translate.
So it's very lucky that if you know both English and Mandarin or Chinese. So basically you can.
That's what that's our.
Yeah, sometimes you get different perspective when you do reading. When I read books, sometimes I will just buy both books in English and Chinese.
Yeah, somehow when they translate, it's just.
So I will read different translation.
Yeah.
So or maybe is originally in English translated in Chinese, or Chinese translated in English, or Japanese book translated into Chinese and English. So I will read both, so I get different perspective. Different perspective.
I guess this is the advantage of being a Malaysian Chinese, because when we were young, we actually learned at least 3 languages, right? The local language that we have here in Malaysia, Malay, and then we learn in English. Like for Chinese, then we will learn Chinese as the language. Of course, we learn other kind of languages as well, because like back then I don't even have the feeling like, I think it's just normal to learn all these languages, right?
Yeah, for my foreigner friends,
they felt very impressive.
They felt very impressive every time. They think they know that we know more than 2, 3, 4 languages.
Yeah, they are very impressed.
Yeah.
Like, especially with British, because normally
They only know one
they only know
language.
one, maybe French, because the school asked them to learn, but maybe not much. But yeah, so basically interesting. Like a lot of my British friends, they just say that, oh my god, like you guys, like they just say that, oh, you guys don't know like how good you are, like learning, knowing all these languages. And I'm like, oh, okay, interesting. And for us it's just normal, right? Because everyone's like that in Malaysia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, so okay, back to the topic. Right, the amoeba management method created by Kazuo Inamori, which is the founder of Kyocera, which is just now. That's why it makes sense. The management, he has been using this amoeba management style for his own company, Kyocera, since the beginning. That's why he has been consistently making profit, even during the downturns as well. And also for KDDI, and also he's also the man who, I think this is what you read. The man who revived Japan Airlines.
Yeah.
They died and then they revived.
One year. I can imagine how tough it is. Yeah.
And also how confident he is, right, to accept
take the job,
to
take the task, because it might affect his reputation.
Yeah, it
in
does.
fact.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, that's how confident he is. Okay, interesting. And also, I know that he's a very, he's a Buddhist.
Yeah,
he's a
sort
Buddhist.
of. So I would say his philosophy of management or
very Buddhist.
business, I think, come from his faith.
Yeah.
I would say this is a faith-based business.
Because I think when it comes to this kind of big projects, there will be a lot of problems. Right? So I remember I read one quote from Kazuo Inamori. He said something, I mean, kind of helped me also. That's quite interesting. He said something about a person, I mean, just direct translation, because I read it in Chinese because they translated from Japanese.
Yeah.
So in English, a literal translation is that he mentioned something along the line like, if your heart have a magnet, like a stone, a stone, something like a magnet, a stone that attract problem, the problem will come to you. Yeah, something along the line.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, he's trying to say that if your life is full of problem, then probably the problem is you, come from you. I mean, that's my interpretation of his quote. Yeah. And so it sort of helped me back then, because I really did have like a lot of problems back then. And because of that quote, then I was thinking, maybe I'm the problem, not others.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So this amoeba management is a decentralized management system. This is very important because it's very different from a lot of a traditional. Actually, he's traditional because his company has been so long already. But it's just that it's a very different idea of management style, because everyone just think that, oh, it's centralized. Like you have like a head, and then only this person, like they know all the financial stuff, finances and all, and then. So basically, like all the employees, they don't know how well the company works, how well the company do, how well the company does until maybe annual dinner or something along the line, like the town hall meeting and all, right? So, but then for amoeba management style, which is a decentralized management system, where a company is divided into a small self-managed units. The very important concept here is that it's a very small managed units called the amoebas. So each amoeba, they operates like a mini company, right? So every department, I would say that every department, they become like a mini company of their own. So they have to set their own goals, they have to calculate their profits, they have to making their own business decisions independently. So it's not a top-down approach. It's not like, like the top, how to say, like let's say Kazuo Inamori, he make this decision and then he's gonna just a top-down approach, like ask everyone just follow him. So instead, he led all the different departments, all the different departments, these self-managed units, to make their own decision, and at the same time, because of that, they are more accountable to what they do, right? So the goal of this is to develop leaders at every level, So, and also to foster entrepreneurial thinking among the employees as well. That's why, look at our title here, which is like turn your staff, your employees into mini bosses, right? I think this is one of the biggest pain point of all the bosses nowadays. Because somehow the employees, right, they are louder than you, but then they are not making any
real contribution.
real
to the
contribution. But then they are so, I mean, like, and
company. But
yeah,
they think that they make contribution. But
yeah,
in fact, for you, they are not making contribution to the company.
yeah. Because why? Because you are the only one that see that, like how well the company does. They don't see that. So in this case, what Kazuo Inamori said, that let them see what their, I mean, like your department, how well you are doing. So they know, and also being held accountable by that as well. I think this one is more on another idea of ownership, like I think this, if you want to attract leaders to join your company, if you want to attract people who have like their own opinion, who are more, better, if you want to attract better employees to your company, I think definitely one thing is that you want to give them the ownership, right? Make them feel that they own whatever they are doing. Rather than, if they don't feel it that way, I think probably what you could, you're gonna just chase away these kind of talents, but then you'll attract a lot more followers. Who might just follow you brainlessly, and then you feel the ego, they stroke your ego very nice, but there's no productivity. Yeah. So that is your choice, right? Because if you are a boss here, you have your own employees, you have your own company. It really depends on you. Like, you want to, really give the ownership to your staff, let them grow at the same time your company will grow. It really depends on your choice, or you like employees that stroke your ego. but then there's no result, but every day you just hear all the good, all the sweet thoughts, sweet words around you. It really depends. Yeah. So another thing about the goal of this amoeba management is that it will help to align all staff with the company's philosophy and mission as well. It kind of makes sense because like what I mentioned earlier, if everyone have own their own work and all, so apparently they will be more aligned with the company values. Else it will just be like, oh, everyone just shouting, oh, this is our company value, but then no one actually believe it by heart, and also practice as well. Yeah. So that's one thing. I know a lot of companies every day they just shout like in Chinese you call 喊口号. Slogan that this is our company values and all. But when it comes to the but it's not practical sometimes, because if they don't believe it from their heart, and then if they don't use it within their work, and then even worse, they don't even have the ownership to apply the so-called company values in their work, and what's the point of having the company values, right? They can just follow like brainless, follow their leader, cannot question their leader, all these things. Then it's like your company will never grow, because it will be a very stagnant organization if it's in such a, what is it called, culture, like this kind of company culture. Okay, great. So so just now we talk about all this very generic, what is amoeba management method. So the key thing here, 3 words I just remember. Number 1, decentralize. Number 2, self-manage. And then number 3 is that for each self-managed units, they will need to calculate their own profits. So this is the main thing. So the core principle of amoeba management is that, so I need to keep on talking about this, because if this is your first time listening to amoeba, you may still need some time to digest about this, right? So again, the key point, the core principle of amoeba management is that it's a small self-accounting unit. So each amoeba is responsible for, each amoeba means that each company department, each department, or depends on how you divide the unit, is responsible for their own profit and loss, and then it independently tracks their own revenue, their own expenses, and their own productivity, right? And also number 2, time-based is a time-based profitability metric. So performance is measured not by traditional accounting, but it's by this value added per hour worked. So actually there's a formula. So the formula is about like the sales, you know, how much they earn, the sales, then minus the cost of the external purchases, which is their expenditure, I mean just make it shorter, and then divide by their working hours. So this is how the formula works. It's a time-based profitability metric. So basically per hour, how much value that you have added to the company. I mean, this is kind of interesting, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. And then another thing is that it's a internal market pricing system. So within the so this is what we did back then. So within the amoeba, so meaning like different departments or different maybe different country or different department. Maybe within even the sales team, then you have different amoeba as well, like different, like even smaller units. So they will buy and sell the products or services to each other using fair internal pricing, and also it will stimulate a free market inside the company as well. So this is what we did back then. Actually, interesting. When we did merger and acquisition for the conglomerate, that's what we did. Within this conglomerate, they also have like the internal bidding among like all these like companies they bought all around the world. Like let's say, so I mean this is kind of interesting. So they have this internal market pricing system, where, I mean that's what you can see, that really like all these small amoebas, it became like a really like a small unit of company. Yeah, when they don't want to deal with another department, they have to buy and sell. They have to have the internal market pricing system, which is like they basically, I think last time you said something about this. So they can, there's a word they use it in Chinese, 内部创业.
Nowadays a lot of people talk about this, but just different implementation. It's maybe different. They imitate from one way or another, but it's not real.
Okay.
Exactly the same,
Okay.
I think.
Okay. So another core principle of amoeba management.
Not exactly the same as amoeba.
Okay.
But
So
maybe
the core principle of amoeba management. Another one is that there's a total employee participant. What it means is that all the employees will participate in decision making. Therefore, they have more ownership of what they do, and also they understand more how their work affects the business as well. Yeah, because like all the financial data and performance goals are transparent, you know, within the amoeba unit. I mean, yeah. So this is you will make the employee more engaged, have more ownership, and therefore you will attract employees that love to be, they are more disciplined and also like more accountable. Okay, and then next one is management by philosophy. So this entire system is guided by moral values and altruism as well, because the goal is not just about the profit, it's also doing the right thing and create the happiness for all employees. So this is because, like we said earlier, because Kazuo Inamori, he himself is a Buddhist. So basically, he also being guided by his faith, right? So when he managed his own company and also help out the Japan Airlines, he also, in a way that how to say, whatever inner system that he used to discipline himself, of course it will be exuded like to his employees, to the company as well. Okay, great. So okay, and then lastly, I'll just end with a bit of the summary. Like number one, like to know why is it so effective, and then some of the famous quotes, and then later we can chit chat about it, because now I'm still at the presentation stage. So why is it so effective, right? So you can see like there are two things. Like one, you know, the traditional management. I think this one you are more familiar because you were in the banking system, right?
Yeah, different company with different management system.
The banking system is more on
different.
the known to be with traditional management. Yeah. So like for example, I guess traditional management, they have a more centralized decision making.
Centralized, but different department definitely will have different. I would say they are autonomous in making their decision, and be accountable, just in different way. But maybe not so direct. But just now you talk about buying, selling between departments. This I think more to physical stuff lah. But in banking, usually we don't do that.
I mean, in
across
your
different
experience,
departments.
you are in your
Yeah.
experience. And also for your profit, is it tracked top down or is it tracked daily by each team?
It's different. I can't represent all banks because I
Yeah,
don't
I mean,
work
I
in
mean, for
all banks.
empirically speaking, I mean your own experience.
And I don't work that long. In fact, I work in company for a few years, then I just come out on my own
Mm.
for 20 years. So it's most of my time I'm on my own. So um,
So is the
more
profit tracked top down back then?
different department. I
Do you
don't think
see the profit for your own department?
profit for my own department. There's target, sales target for different.
But you don't see the profit, right? You only see the sales target. Yeah, so
don't
that
see.
so that is more on the traditional management because you don't see the profit. Maybe only your higher up,
Higher up,
the management, they see the profit.
They will look at all. I see my part,
Yeah.
my part, my client's portfolio.
But what you
everything,
see is not the profit. What you see is the sales revenue.
and client's portfolio, portfolio, their profitability.
But that is the profit of your client, not the profit of the company.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I know,
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
So basically, so that's what
So
I'm trying to
not only sales. My point is not only sales,
Mm.
but don't see the overall the company.
Yeah,
But because it's I would say it's listed company, so it's relatively their accounts, everything is transparent. Everyone, you can just go online and see it.
yeah, but I'm trying to
Yeah,
say here
yeah,
is that traditional management, the profit is tracked top down.
Yeah,
So
maybe
meaning-
you talk about your company because my experience working in company is not that long.
No, what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say here is that there is a difference between the traditional management and the amoeba management. That's all. Because most of the
yeah.
company in the world, they are using traditional management. So
Yeah.
most of the time, employees, all the departments, they don't see how well their department are doing. Meaning they don't know how much value their department is contributing to the company. Normally, this is only seen. I don't think it's even tracked at all. Yeah, sometimes it's not even tracked at all. Like which department is doing well. Maybe by country, yes. Maybe they will say that, oh, this country is doing good, this country is doing good, but department maybe not so. So the interesting part about this amoeba management is that it may be like the profit is even tracked daily by each of their team. Yeah, which is kind of interesting because like normally like what you said, for all the department they have their own KPI and then they just and then this KPI also is a top down KPI. So the top down said, I mean like the higher up management, they say that, oh, this is your KPI, then everyone just fight for the KPI, that's all. And then whether the KPI helps with the department and all, don't know, because they are not the decision maker, the management is the decision maker. But when it comes to amoeba management, it's more like, because what Kazuo Inamori think that he wants to give more ownership to the team, right? So basically each of the team, they have to track their own profit. Yeah, with the formula that we mentioned earlier. And also another thing is that the in traditional, brings to this, right? In traditional management, employees, they just follow orders, right? Whatever set by the higher management, then everyone just follow. But when it comes to amoeba management, so the employees act like entrepreneurs because they own their own idea and all, right? And also another thing is that when it comes to traditional management, they are motivated by incentives, like for example bonus. I know some of my friends, they no longer like to work in the company, but for the bonus, they want to get the annual bonus or whatever, and then continue to work to get that, then until only then they will leave the company. So that is sort of like a bait with a fish, and then everyone just follow the bait, and until one day they get it, and then they will just leave. So it's more motivated through the incentives. And for amoeba management, the motivation actually came a lot more from the mission and also the ownership as well, because like people it's like they own their own companies, and this is how they feel, right? Because they manage to make their own decision, and then they also more responsible to the actual outcome as well, because the profit is tracked daily by each team. Okay, so this is some of the famous quotes from Kazuo Inamori. I don't know whether this will include whatever I said just now. Okay, so the first one, the purpose of management is not to make money, but to make all employees happy. I mean, it's quite interesting because, I mean, that's why he didn't lay off a single employee from Japan Airlines. But it might be a little bit different though, because when it comes to work ethic, Japanese are known to be more resilient. I don't know, or more disciplined. I mean, that's what like comparatively all around the world, like people will just think that they're Japanese, they're more disciplined. So it might be a bit different in some of the countries. Yeah, so this is one thing, right? And also another thing is that so this one is just a cultural background is very important. The context is very important as well because yeah, people do. I mean, like we all, I think each part of the world we all like think that Japanese are very hardworking people. Okay, then the second one is the foundation of business. I mean, his quote from Kazuo in Maori. The foundation of business lies in the human heart. What do you think about this quote? The foundation of business lies in the human heart.
I don't have special thought about this, but for me everything like Nokia last time is the foundation is people, right? The technology.
Oh, is it?
So it's the same thing, same thing. 科技以人为本嘛. I mean, yeah, of course, because due to his philosophy and his faith, right? Definitely that's where it comes from.
So their design, their whole company work like it will be very different because of
his faith,
their philosophy and the
philosophy. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. And the last quote, which is quite interesting, that I just mentioned earlier, because Japanese are known for being more resilient, self-disciplined and all. So yeah, they have this quote, you know, among the Japanese, these proverbs. I forgot exactly how it is to pronounce it in Japanese, right? But in literal translation in English is that if you fall down 7 times, you get up 8 times. So this is the proverb. kind of interesting. Yeah, so when it comes to this famous quote from Kazuo Inamori, the last one, which is he said that even hardship becomes sweet if you work with sincerity. No, interesting. Because I heard someone talk about this, or meaning you treat the bitter as a form of happiness
and enjoyment.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, kind of aligned. I mean, like with what he said here. Okay, great. So so if you are looking for whether you want to use amoeba management, so it works best for companies that is, if you want to boost your employee engagement and accountability. We have been thinking like why, like some of the stuff they are not doing well, is something wrong? Because I know some of the company leaders, right, if they are more responsible, they would think that, oh, maybe it's my fault, maybe it's not your fault, maybe it's just that, you know, the company system itself, you just didn't really like give the supposed, I mean, like the accountability, the ownership, like to the employees, right? And then the second thing is that if you need agile and team-based decision making system, then yeah, so this will be a great thing to introduce to your company. And then the third one is that if you desire a values-driven, a mission-focused culture in your company, so this might be suitable for you. And the last one, if you seek to train future leaders from within, because that's what consulting firm like do normally, like another thing called succession management. Yeah, I mean, this is very important actually, because you don't know what's going to happen to the CEO one day, and then you need to have some kind of business continuity plan, right? What happened to the CEO suddenly, and then like you know who's going to be the next, you know, the what we call the succession management, which is very important. And a lot of companies they just don't do well on this, and then your idea just die with you, right? I mean, this is not what you want. I feel you want your legacy to be continued by someone that you trust, that will bring your vision to a higher level, right? Yeah, so this is yeah. And also, so speaking of this, right, because I mentioned that because previously I worked in a consulting firm, so this is my experience, and currently I have my own consulting companies which I just formed. And then if you are interested, and also I also like help out with Max as well to help out with his rebranding and all the pricing structure and all. So and also the digital transformation a little bit. So if you're interested, I can help to design an amoeba style model for your business. You just let me know your industry, your company size, and your current structure, and yeah. So and then so I can help out to form a blueprint for your company. All right. So Max, do you have
Okay,
anything you want to add on?
so we have this maximum 80 challenge,
Mm.
80 days breakthrough anything in your life.
Mhm.
Okay, so basically we have a clear target. Okay, so of course you can have a different target, is $1 million within 80 days.
Mm.
Okay, this is clear target within, there's a deadline, 80 days. So a lot of people, you feel very hard or procrastinate to achieve your goal. It's because you don't have a clear goal, first thing. Secondly, you don't have a deadline.
Mm.
Okay, here's the deadline, here's a clear goal. Of course, if you reach out to us, you want to have different goal, feel free. Okay, reach out to us, we see how we can help you. Okay, so you can go to our website maximumvalue.com to reach out to us. There's a WhatsApp support. Okay, we will have one-on-one assistance for you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So anything you want to add?
Yeah, I think that's all from me. So, anything you want to learn more next time, you can type in a comment below. So, yeah, so we will see how we can help. Yeah.
Yep. So
Okay.
see you.
So, see you. That's all for today.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.